need an introduction, but if I may just 1 minute. So Padma Shri is an award that the government of India bestows, on selected people around the world. So Padma Shri awardee, Shri Blackman, CDE, is hosting this event here this evening, and he's been member of Parliament for Harrow East since year 2010, and is the leading champion of what we are gathered here today, which is all spiritual sciences relating to Ayurveda, yoga, Jyotish, Vastu, Sangeetam, and etc. So Bob has been a leading champion since the inception of this group, and I'm very delighted that he's with us here today. And I'd like to request him to welcome us all and listen to his words of experience. Thank you.
Thank you for that kind introduction, and a great pleasure to welcome you all here to Parliament to Commission on Tech. This room is often used for these type of meetings because it's big enough to take as many people as we can bring in. The acoustics are not wonderful all the time, so if you're listening online, my apologies slightly if we can't hear completely what every person is speaking. I'll try and make myself as audible as possible. As has been said, and you are a big debt of gratitude to this man. So he keeps Ayurveda on the agenda all the time. He will not take no for an answer, and he continuously promotes what we are here to celebrate. And you should give him a big round of applause.
Clap, clap, clap.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, great pleasure. I've come, apologies for being slightly late, but I've been hosting on the House of Terrace the annual Diwali celebrations for Parliament. So I had to stay there till the end to make sure everyone left. And getting everyone out of these functions, as you possibly know, is always difficult because everyone wants to vote for it before they'll leave. So we managed to, I think, get to the terrace. But it's been a great celebration this afternoon of New Year. With New Year, of course, comes new beginnings, new hope, and indeed the opportunity to say to people, let us hope the new year is happy, peaceful, prosperous, but above all else, healthy. Now, I would say something about traditionalism. The fact is that we can quite rightly say that yoga is India's gift to the world. And our National Health Service concentrates on getting sick people to be well again. We don't actually concentrate too much on people living a healthy lifestyle, whereas Ayurveda looks at a healthy lifestyle and therefore enabling people to live healthier and longer as a result. And you have to say, this has been around for thousands of years. Even in this country, you should remember that we use herbs, spices, and all sorts of other things, medications to cure ailments and to encourage people to live a healthier life. In all of our food, despite the English diet being pretty plain, we've always had herbs and spices within them. That brings health as well, as long as it's used in the appropriate way. But what we do on modern medicines is we synthesize the natural products. Right? Wouldn't it be better to use the natural products rather than the synthesized versions of them? And I think that's something that we can do. I had the opportunity to visit, I had the opportunity to visit India on several occasions. But of course, I went down and opened the wing of a hospital where modern medicine sits alongside IV. And what the key point here is that people can use both. You don't have to say it's one or the other. You can use both. And we've now got to the position whereby our National Health Service includes yoga within its stated programme. I have to say, if I haven't met all of you on occasions, I've always had problems with my back. And that's not people trying to stab me in the back, although it does occasionally happen. But you get back problems, particularly when you do this various activities that I undertake. And I went to my doctor, who just happened to be Dr. Patel, and he said, well, you can take painkillers if you like, but actually, what you should do is yoga stretches first thing in the morning. And funny enough, you'll find that you're far better off as a result. So every morning I do a few minutes, so not probably as long as I should do, of stretches just to get my back into full operation and my body into full operation, and that lasts me for the rest of the day. So if we can do that sort of thing and take simple advice, why can't we do that for other things as well? So a very warm welcome, as I say, to all of you. You'll have to excuse me because having hosted today, you couldn't make this up really. The sort of events we get involved in as parliamentarians. But having been speaking in the chamber this morning about a wide variety of different topics, and indeed talking about the current position in relation to sanctions against the Russians, equally talking about the Remembrance Weekend that is coming up and the Jewish Remembrance Weekend that is next weekend, and then making a speech, funny enough, about health in the chamber and how we're combating smoking and making England smoke free. This is about making people well, if you like, and not getting ill in the first place. Conquering cancer, conquering respiratory diseases, and ensuring that people, young people in particular, don't get addicted to nicotine and then, unfortunately, find it really hard to give up smoking later in life. So I was making a very forceful speech about this, and also using vaping as well, which I think is another backlog route of getting people addicted to nicotine. So I then met a visiting group from Romania, the Romanian politicians, visiting them. Then after that, I got dragged into the all-party group for pharmacy to make sure that we could make sure that the all-party group is set up and runs again. So, and then after that, the Diwali celebration, then you got people, and then after that, constituents who are coming in for a tour at 6 o'clock. So apologies, I won't be able to stay for the duration of the meeting, but I'm sure that you will be sure to go to time and to order. And one plea if I can. Please feel free to take photos in here, as several people have been doing, but do not take photos in the corridor, because the security people are fierce, and you'll get me into trouble, which means I won't get to host events in the future. So finally, as I've been saying on the terrace this afternoon, I'm delighted to co-chair this all-party group for traditional medicines and traditional music as well. But of course, we face a general election next year at some stage. So as long as I'm re-elected, I'll book your rooms in the future. Enjoy this evening. I'm sure we've got some wonderful speakers. I haven't seen the running order, but I'm sure we've got wonderful speakers, and we're all going to be better off as a result of listening to all of them. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for Bobji. And absolutely, it was not for visionary parliamentarians such as Bobji and Sharma and all the other rest of the group, then we would not be here. We would not be able to discuss issues that are facing us. And Bob, for your information, we have some of the most top Ayurvedic physicians in this land here today. Yeah, they've come as far as from Romania and different parts of the world also, but here predominantly you see the cream of Ayurvedic physicians from the UK here. It would be really interesting, for you to get an insight as to with your guidance, how do we maneuver, how do we move forward, inch forward to see what ground we need to cover and what ice we need to break, so that we actually get Ayurveda. Ayurveda can be discussed as an Ayurveda medicine, or can also be discussed as Ayurveda wellness program. So we should be able to look at these opportunities. We have here with us today an amazing, wonderful doctor who's driven, come all the way from Laos, and North of England. And he's working for the NHS and he's trying to bring an integrated approach. And that's something that we would like you to consider and, have a further